republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Olivia, do you need to roll call?
Ms. Anderson?
Present.
Mrs. Farragut?
Here.
Mr. Sarah?
Here.
Mrs. Sanborn?
Present.
Mrs. Miller? Present.
All right, it is recommended the governing board approve the agenda as submitted. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Recommended the governing board approve the minutes of October 1st, 2020 regular meeting. Do I have a motion?
So
moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, Dr. Sprout for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Anderson, governing board members. First slide, please. There we go. There we go. All right. Superintendent's report. Well, first we'd like to start by saying congratulations to Vista del Sur Accelerated Academy, to the entire staff, students, parents, the community, for being recognized as an A+ school by the Arizona Educational Foundation. Vista joins MC Cash, Charles Cider Point, and Rogers Ranch in receiving this designation. And for those of you watching, we have a beautiful plaque for the Vista staff and community to celebrate. Congratulations to Principal Jessica Epax, who is back there somewhere, and you'll receive this plaque in just at the end of the meeting. And let's give them a round of applause. This is the highest designation that a school can receive in the state of Arizona, and Vista was very much deserving of this award. Congratulations to President Anderson, Susan Sanborn, who were both elected to another term on the governing board. We would also like to welcome our newest member, Dr. Torres Watkins, who will be filling Isaac Cerna's seat. So welcome, Dr. Watkins. Dr. Watkins is an active member of the Levine community. Aside from running Levine Eye Care since 2007, a lot of people have seen Dr. Watkins in his office in this community. He has developed mentoring programs, coached youth sports, and sponsored teams and fundraisers. He has worked closely with Dr. Roselle to launch the School Connect Parent University project, in which local organizations come together to educate parents on specific tools and resources to assist them in parenting during current challenges. So once again, welcome Dr. Watkins. Our override passed. So we would like to say thank you to our community and the overwhelming support that we received from our voters. 71 to 29, yes, no. This measure will allow us to continue our full-day kindergarten, special area classes and electives, as well as to maintain competitive salaries for our staff and to retain them. We appreciate the community's strong support, and I think that this speaks volumes to the relationship that the Levine schools have with our community, and we are very blessed to be a part of this community. Also passing was Proposition 208, the Invest in Education Act. We are getting information almost daily as to what that will mean for our school district. What we do know is a very large portion of that will be going towards staff salaries, and as with every initiative or proposition that has passed, we will obviously be communicating with our staff as to the impact on them and channeling the funds as per the proposition. So That is another positive for our staff. Next, every year we do Pinnacle of Leadership Awards for our administrative team, and I will publicly say that we have the best administrative team in this state. I am so thankful for every one of them and the incredible impact that they have. And these challenging times have brought that out more. These are the folks that we represent or recognize this year. First, as you know, it's been a technology world for us, and we recognized our technology team. This is their group picture. And so from left to right there, we have Jamie Camacho, Butch Neal, Eddie Lopez, and Richard Pino Dancy. And so, and they're all here tonight and supporting this meeting, but we greatly appreciate all they are doing. And by the way, I'll just take this from Ms. Davis. They're even helping schools in other states who are consulting with us about what we're doing. And so specifically in Washington State, we have a partnership with the school district there, just picking our brains, their brains, and getting wise counsel and guidance from them. Our other Pinnacle Leadership Awards, top row, going from left to right, our Assistant Superintendent of Academic Services, Kathy Davis, who has overseen a huge chunk of what this district has done over the last 8 years in academic services. And so she received a Pinnacle Leadership Award. Jessica Epax, principal of the A+ Vista Del Sur Accelerated Academy. Jennifer Gordon, our child nutrition director, who of course has overseen, her program has not stopped, and it continued going throughout the pandemic under her excellent leadership. Megan Hamburg, assistant principal at Vista and now principal at Rogers Ranch School. Kim Tier, who oversees our preschool and kids club programs, and Principal Lisa Sandomir from NC Cash School. And those are our Pinnacle of Leadership Award winners this year. So let's give them a round of applause. Speaking of our tech team, congratulations to technology coach J.D. Williams, who has been named October's North America Google Trainer, the entire continent, Google Trainer of the Month by Google for Education. JD has provided outstanding service to our entire community, giving professional development to our teachers. He also works with parents who are having technology issues and is an absolutely wonderful individual who does nothing, all he wants to do is serve this community. So there are over 6,000 Google certified trainers worldwide, and so we're especially proud. And by the way, there was a newspaper article ran about JD in his hometown in Montana. And we got, it was a hometown boy does good article. And so for all those people in Montana, including JD Williams' parents, congratulations. And I think they're watching tonight. So congratulations again to JD. We are already starting to plan for the third quarter, which begins on January 4th, following winter break. On Monday, we will be asking families whose children are participating in the flexible online schooling option, which schooling option they prefer for the third quarter. They will be able to continue online learning for the remainder of the school year or return to on-site learning. We will then begin building staffing and class assignments to accommodate their selections. Our next slide presents to the board our veterans. Yesterday was Veterans Day, and we are so thankful for these individuals who have not only served their country, but continue to serve here in the Levine Elementary School District. And it made, an amazing sense of civic responsibility to our country and to our state. One of those down at the bottom includes our very own Isaac Cerna, who was in the Navy. And speaking of that, I think we might have a picture of this. There we are. Isaac, could you give us an idea what this picture is?
I'm getting awarded a station at Newport, Rhode Island at the time, and I was getting recognized as Sailor of the Quarter. And that's back in 1990. A long time ago.
Thank you to you for your service as well as all of our other veterans. Next are employees of the month. Our first is Carlos Cardenas, Rogers Ranch Student Success Associate. Mr. Cardenas works with a number of students to ensure their academic success and assists teachers with students who need extra support. While running their learning labs, he ensured all students were on task and the lab was organized. As a guest teacher, other teachers know their students are in good hands when he is a substitute. His availability and skill are reassuring when a teacher is out. Additionally, he has supported his school's Mesa highly successful Mesa team as a mentor and chaperone and by providing opportunities for field trips and guest speakers. Classified Employee of the Month, Carlos Cardenas. And our Certified Employee of the Month, ZELYG Gutierrez, Desert Meadows Special Education Teacher. Mr. Gutierrez does an outstanding job working with his students. He is very observant and takes initiative in helping students socially and academically. He goes above and beyond to see that students are successful by ensuring they have everything they need to learn. Even in the most challenging situations, Mr. Gutierrez remains calm and focused on helping students to be successful. With students, he works one-on-one and in small groups to help teach them academics, behavior, expectations, and help them to reach their goals. He is patient, calm, and respectful to the students during these conversations. When he communicates with the staff, he displays a high level of professionalism and works closely to problem solve any issues that may arise with students, all while maintaining a positive attitude. Certified Employee of the Month, ZELYG Gutierrez. And tonight's Classroom Spotlight is presented by Levine Elementary School Preschool. And with that, I would like to turn it over to Dr. Keflinger.
Thank you. President Anderson, members of the board, Dr. Sprout, it's my honor to stand before you this evening as principal of Levine Elementary School. Tonight we'll be highlighting our developmental preschool program, whose color of the month is blue, shape of the month is square, and letter of the week is L. It's a unique program because we have students from all the schools in our developmental program. Students are in our program because they're on individual education plans, unless they are a peer model. Currently, we have 121 students enrolled in our preschool, 6 of which are peer models. Tonight, we'll be highlighting our program through a video, which will talk about the goals of the program. It's narrated by our preschool teachers, all of whom wish they could be here tonight, and created by our assistant principal, Mr. Reed Brotherton. Hope you enjoy. Thank you. The goal of the developmental preschool program at Levine Elementary School is to increase children's independence by providing a positive first school experience.
When children are ready, we incorporate early academic learning through play. We focus on reading, writing, math, science, social studies, and much, much more.
Exposure to emergent reading and writing skills have a direct impact on reading and writing success.
Our staff, including speech-language pathologists, occupational therapists, physical therapists, and teachers, work hard to create developmentally appropriate learning experiences that are engaging and promote creativity, while creating activities to address individual students' IEP goals.
Learning how to learn in school is hard but fun work. Much of our work is play-based learning. We support and facilitate children in developing self-control and self-confidence while encouraging self-care skills. All of this prepares our students for kindergarten success.
Another goal for our preschool program is to develop social skills with peers and adults, as well as providing students with opportunities to develop effective communication skills.
As you can see, preschool is a super fun place to learn and grow.
Thank you, Dr. Kapliger and Levine staff, preschool staff. Let's give them a round. Finally, in the last month, we have lost 2 members of the Levine School District family, both from MC Cash. We would like to take a moment and recognize each one of them, followed by a moment of silence. Inez Barrios, assistant custodian at MC Cash. Inez worked for the district for the past 2 years, starting as a crossing guard and supervisory associate before moving into his custodial position. Known for his kindness, strong work ethic, and great relationships with staff and students, he will be greatly missed by the entire Cash community. Vicente Aguila Aronia, a 5th grade student, was shy, very intelligent, and loved science, building robots, solving puzzles, and reading, and was very close to his siblings and parents. I would also like to acknowledge Vicente's 4th grade teacher, Rachel Roche, who provided homebound services last year and asked to continue working with Vicente this year. Thanks also to the entire MC Cash staff and others who have rallied around these families during this most difficult time. Would you please join me in a moment of silence? Thank you, President Anderson. That concludes the superintendent's report.
Great, thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on to the call to public. We have a few call to public items to go over. The call to public is on a regular board agenda to provide everyone the opportunity to be heard. The governing board understands the importance of communication with the public and welcomes and values your comments, concerns, input, and praise. The governing board cannot comment or answer issues brought up at call to public because only items listed on the agenda for discussion or action may be addressed. This does not mean that your comments will be forgotten or that the board does not care what you think. The governing board president will discuss them with the superintendent, and every effort will be made to answer your questions and resolve your concerns. Thank you for caring about the children of Levine Elementary School District and for taking time out of your busy schedule to address the governing board. These are agenda items, right, Olivia?
I'm sorry?
Are these for the agenda items? Or is this after?
For after, non-agenda.
Okay, then I need to wait on that.
I think there were, regarding agenda items.
Okay. moving forward. All right, so the first one I have is Sandra Bell, resides at 5004 West Harwell Road, being represented as a district resident and grandparent. Her comment is, I've noticed data used to meet benchmarks for reopening classes are based on outdated information provided by Maricopa County School Metrics. It's imperative to make these decisions based on current analysis. The model used shows upticks in infection rates in the last 2 reported periods. Parents, students, teachers, and our community deserve reliable and updated information. My concern is that this lag time in omitted information leads to a false sense of safety and puts many at a greater risk. According to science, the second wave of COVID infection in the U.S. has begun. Also, the mutated strain is more contagious and just as deadly. The state is being negligent in mandating educators return to teach in class, with absolutely no consideration for those with at-risk health conditions. This entire experiment may come with the cost of many lives in our community. Please consider the consequences for those who want and need to work and are risking their lives. In Arizona, we have already lost about 750 teachers due to protocols failing to protect their health. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The second call to public is from Breezy Figueroa, resides at 7108 West 70th Drive. Being represented as a parent, employee, and district resident. Her comment is, I am concerned with the numbers rising that our schools are remaining open. Unfortunately, I feel that schools will remain open until a staff member or student gets severely ill and/or passes. The time to act is before cases are in schools. We have had cases in the hallway I work in that are not being reported by parents when students are being sent home or contact tracing is not occurring. When schools open up, I feel that we were not prepared for the mental and physical toll it was going to take on staff. In special education, I have to teach in person and online and some days simultaneously. We are working our tails off, and I feel that the district keeps requiring the normal school year requirements with PDs and other normal school year requirements that we simply have no time for at the moment. Teachers are exhausted, especially in middle school, where we are all teaching online and in person daily. When I return to work, I expect our administration to know answers to questions and address my concerns. When I asked where I can request more PPE or hand sanitizer and disinfecting wipes, I was told that I could buy a bottle of bleach to disinfect like our preschools. I requested a second screen as I share my classroom and do not have access to a smart board, and I was told that there are none available. I have had to reach in my own pocket again and again to make it easier for me to teach online and in person. I feel with no support or anyone to go to with answers to my problems that teachers and staff are facing. When I have it has gone nowhere. Teachers need time and patience from the administration at the district. This job has never been easy, but right now it's harder than ever. 301 hours are going to be hard for all teachers to obtain, especially for special education. All meetings should be counted for leadership that extends past 3 p.m. or start before 7 a.m. Mainstream the request for technology, monitors, and PPE supplies for all campuses. Teachers cannot teach on our laptops only, and it is not easy to do without 2 screens. Poll teachers on how they are feeling anonymously as your staff opinions matters. Treat us as professionals. We work hard and should be shown respect in the matter of being professionals. Stop requiring professionals to do things extra on top of what we are barely making it through at this moment. None of this is normal, so why are we treating it like a normal school year? Be flexible. Is it a need to know or nice to know? We are all in this together, and we all need to come out of this safely. Please use the metrics that was designed originally to keep our community safe, not the one that the governor changed it to without data. Just as a side note, I fear that I am putting myself in a bad situation in writing this statement, and it will be used as I got you for speaking out as a staff member. All right, the third call to public by Daniel Figueroa, resides at 7108 South 70th Drive, represented as school safety. The comment is, governing board members, I am a parent of 2 LESD students at Paseo Point, as well as a spouse of the district employee. I am also a teacher at nearby TUHSD. I am writing you with concerns about current plans for closing schools in case of an outbreak. The TUHSD decided to remain completely learning remotely due to the high number of cases within the feeding zip codes. The only contact teachers had with students came through sports. As many of you may know, a teacher in the TUHSD recently passed away due to complications from COVID. He presumably caught it either at school, since coaches were required to teach from campus, or from the students at practice. A very unfortunate but preventable situation had sports been canceled. Thus far, the LESD has been very responsible in making student staff-based decisions on reopening. Now the state is making it easier for schools to remain open based on metrics. Your current plan of closing schools based on site cases is unadvised. As a teacher, I know students and parents are not always diligent on daily wellness checks and often come to school with symptoms. Even teachers sometimes feel pressure to continue to attend school and not disclose symptoms because they don't want to be the ones to see their school numbers go up. Ultimately, if the LASD feels the metrics that lead them to close down back in March are being met, they should make the unpopular decision of closing. The safety of the staff and students is more important. Go ahead and ask Tellison Union High School District if they would have canceled sports in retrospect. Now the entire community has to deal with preventable loss of a teacher. Respectfully, Daniel Figueroa. Public call number 4 by Liz Lorenz, resides at 2416 West Kachina Trail, represented as a parent. Her comment is, as schools have started to reopen for in-person, it has put a strain on teaching staff and a noticeable shift in the quality of education that our online learners are receiving. In some schools, in-person learners are being prioritized over online learners when there is a shortage of staff. How is it that Levine District addresses the shortage in teachers and staff to ensure that online learners are affording the same quality and opportunity as in-person? All right, and the last call to public. Katrina Williams resides at 4639 West Magdalena Lane, represented as a parent. Her comment: I am very concerned with the way online learning is working at Vista. Specifically, I'm concerned about the most recent email we received from the principal advising that parents were going to have to take a larger role in helping our children. As things stand now, I feel as if we are having to offer more support based solely on this new normal. The letter advised that the learning would get more rigorous and thereby required more of our assistance. I chose the online learning forum because my child has an underlying issue and I would prefer he not die. As it stands, I do all that I can to support my child, but feel that the teachers are being pulled in different directions and the online students are getting the short end of the stick in an option provided by the school district. Had I known that my child would not be providing the same resources as in-class students, I would have pulled him at the beginning of the school year. I say all of that to ask, what are you going to do to make this an equitable learning experience for all students? And that is all to our call to public. All right, moving on to our consent agenda. Motion to approve. Second. All those in favor? Aye. All right, and now we have the academic service presentation.
All right. Well, good evening, President Anderson, members of the board, Dr. Sprout, and guests. It is my privilege tonight to just share some updates from the academic world of our school district. As we're all aware, we've been in a pandemic and we've put a lot of time and energy into safety and sanitizing and mitigation strategies, but equally important is the energy that we put into our instructional program. So as you know, we have over 7,300 students in our care every single day. And that is divided right now between students that are in our building for in-person instruction as well as those who are obtaining their learning online at home. So it is critically important to us that we provide the best education and instructional program that we can for both of those learning platforms. So really tonight I'm just going to share some broad overviews of things that we're doing to support academic achievement in our students, really in 3 broad categories. The first is being all of the training and support that we've done with our staff, the classroom observations and giving feedback and seeing what's happening, and then just the assessment and curriculum programs that we're using to deliver our instruction. So training and support has been nonstop, really since last spring. We have quickly had a learning curve, all of our staff have, and we've done a lot of staff development and training with all levels of our employees to make the shifts and adjustments that are needed, especially as we transition to online learning. We had a number of staff who really had to stretch outside of their norm. We had bus drivers who used to drive buses, and then for a while they were assisting students with online learning in our learning labs. So we are grateful for our staff for the work that they've done and the outstanding attitude that they've had. As far as our leadership, we've done a lot of work with our administrators and instructional coaches, really just to ensure that they're effectively leading both online and in person. We have instructional coach meetings every Friday where we do training and collaboration with our instructional coaches so that they have the tools they need to go back and provide support to our classroom teachers. And then we also still continue to bring in outside facilitators and workshops. We had a number of people participate in a Kagan workshop to get new strategies on how to do cooperative learning while we're social distancing. So you would think those two don't necessarily go together, but they came up with some ways that they do. And we also had our consultant with NWEA work with us on how to use our benchmark data to make informed decisions. So our instructional leadership, those are meetings that we have several times a year with all of our school leaders. So it would be our principals, our assistant principals, our instructional coaches, and the academic services team. So our last meeting in October, we really just took a look at what is the pulse of instruction right now, knowing that we have online and in person going on. So we asked our leaders to come to that meeting with really some walkthrough data that they had done where they observed both in person and online. And we really talked about what is effective teaching. And so really, that hasn't changed. We know that to be an effective teacher, that we need to do aligned lessons, that we need to engage our students, that we need to use real-time assessments and check for understanding so that we can monitor and adjust. We know that teachers need to give students feedback. We know that we need to give kids opportunities to interact with each other and to engage in critical thinking. So that hasn't changed, and really our goal hasn't changed. We do want to improve academic achievement, and so what we talked about is, while our goal is the same and we know effective teaching is still effective teaching, it may look a little different this year. So we really did a lot of dialogue and sharing strategies of, well, what does student engagement look like when all the kids are on a Google Meet and they're not sitting in front of you? And what does student engagement look like when you're trying to social distance in the classroom? So we had a lot of really healthy conversations and had an opportunity to talk about what we see in the classrooms, and then our leaders take that and pass that on to their staff. So we have our teachers and support staff have engaged in a lot of professional development. On our early release PD days, we've already had 5 of those, I think. But in addition to that, we pushed out a lot of virtual training. Since a year ago, we had very little online training, but we've become very good at it, and we do a lot of virtual training. So our staff is not only attending training during the day, but they have opportunities to attend classes outside of that and virtually. And in some ways, the Google Meet has really opened up the opportunity to collaborate. It's kind of quick and easy to have everyone jump on and dialogue from wherever they are. So the second area would be classroom observations. So we know that we can deliver professional development, but if we don't see where the rubber meets the road, which is in the classroom, then we don't really know if it was effective. So we do a lot of classroom observations. I would have to give a real shout out here to our school leaders because they have mastered the art of observing 2 worlds. It used to be they could just grab their clipboard or their iPad and go walk around the school and you could see good teaching and learning. And then the kids were gone. They're at home. And so our principals learned how to join Google Classrooms and jump into Google Meets and watch live instruction that way and give teachers feedback. And then we transitioned to, well, some kids came back. So now we have students online and students in the building, and our leadership has done a great job, I think, of supporting both of those worlds and kind of doing observations and walking through the school and even sitting in your office enjoying the classrooms that way. They share things every week. Honestly, every Sunday, all the principals send out these newsletters to their staff, and they're so wonderful. It takes me an hour to read them. But they include all of these great pictures and highlights of things going on at their school, so I stole some of them for this presentation. So this is just a picture of a 4th grade teacher that's doing a science lesson with circuits, but it's really hard to capture in a photograph, but if you watch the Google Meets and the live interaction, it's so fantastic. And this teacher, not only did was she demonstrating and engaging kids with questions, and I think she posted a virtual circuit link, but she also had prepared ahead of time and sent the parents a link to Amazon if they wanted to buy their own for $8. And she had several parents that did that. So it's just a small example of our teachers going over and above. One of the great features of Google Meet is a newer feature, which is called breakout rooms. And so what teachers are able to do now is that they have their whole class in the Google Meet and they're doing their live instruction. But if they want to have a small group, they can send kids to these breakout groups, and then the teacher can pop into each one. So for example, in a classroom, if you were reading a book and then you wanted to have each group dialogue about character development, in the in-person classroom, you might just have them talk, and the teacher walks around, but now we're able to do that virtually, and the teacher pops in just the same. So it's amazing to watch the transformation of virtual technology and instructional technology, and we were pretty good before. We have been a digital district, but I would say we're beyond good now. So then we also have our in-person world. So our principals get a chance to go around and watch the in-person instruction, as does my team. We go out and watch instruction too. And it's been fabulous to see. And in fact, many of those Google tools still lend themselves well to in-person. As we know, we're trying to social distance. So even those Google Meet breakout rooms, that happens even in the in-person classrooms where kids can be talking to each other even though they're 20 feet away. So that's been kind of neat to see. Our teachers have gotten very creative in ways to engage students and help them have those mental state changes that they need. So here's just a couple pictures of that. There's some students there on the floor doing a cooperative activity. Normally they would pass a paper back and forth and each take their turn writing on it. Now they each have their paper, but they tell each other what the next step to write is while they're sitting just a little bit further apart than they used to. The other picture where the students are sitting on the floor by their desks is just an opportunity for kids to have a state change. So they're practicing phonograms, but they get to get out of their seat and sit on the floor. And although it seems small, it does help our little wigglers get to move. And then another thing we've done is we just continue to provide kids their individual things. So books, this is our new reading program. It's great to see kids reading books again. And the little math manipulatives. Students get their own set, so they're not sharing whether they're at home or online. So we send these books home as well. That was a decision we made knowing that we might lose some, but kids need books. So whether they're in our in-person learning or online, we're sending materials home so that they can access the same lessons and do those activities. And our last area would just be the assessment and instruction. We know that if we're not checking for understanding and seeing what our kids know, that we can't move forward. We know we have some gaps. We took our first NWEA in the fall, or in the, I guess it would be in the fall now, but in school time, the fall was back in September. So we took that test, and we did see some decline from where we were a year ago in September. So we're addressing that. We're actually giving NWEA again next week. And that, again, is something that other districts have asked us, how are you doing that? Because we are testing kids online, wherever they are. So in the doing interventions. So in addition to the daily academic time that kids get with their core content, we are doing small breakout groups, both in person and online, to give kids some additional support. And that's whether it's gifted enrichment or English learner support or special education resource, all of that. EAR assessment program, it does have a new report. It's called the COVID Recovery Report. And so that one's a little interesting, and it just kind of gives us a gauge on really the gaps and where the kids need to be to catch up from that. And that's something that students are facing across the country. One of our fortunate things here is that all of our curriculum programs have a digital platform. So for us, because we were already using math and ELA and science and social studies that had digital components, and we were already using Chromebooks and we were already using Google Classroom. I'm not going to say it wasn't a big adjustment to change to be teachers online, but at least we had some of the tools and things in our belt already, and we're continuing to do that. But in case you forgot, this year we do have a new ELA adoption. So while our teachers are learning to transition to being online and in person, we're also implementing a new ELA curriculum. So we've been doing some training and support on that. In fact, next Wednesday's PD is all dedicated to that. So I'm going to close with this, and that really is just a shout out for our teachers. I get an opportunity, as does my team, to walk through all the schools and just kind of walk through classrooms and check in with teachers, and I have to tell you, it is impressive. Whether they are teaching kids in the building or they're teaching kids at home online, and I watch them talk to their computer, they're amazing. They have gone over and above to make it work and to reach out to kids, and the climate feels good. And so I just want to thank them for that, and we'll continue to maneuver our new world we find ourselves in, and do the best we can to ensure that we have a good program for both whatever options our parents choose. So unless you have a question for me, yeah.
How many teachers are dual teaching, like online and in person?
Quite a few. I don't know the exact number, but anybody who is departmentalized would be doing both. So for sure, every 6th through 8th grade teacher. So middle school is departmentalized, so you're a math teacher or ELA teacher. And so we have some students online and some students in person, and the teachers rotate. So a teacher might they're teaching the same content and the same lesson, but and so they're using their Google Meet and their AirPod. So it might be that their first class is bodies in the room, and they do their math lesson, and then those bodies stay there, and then the teacher goes to the next room where there's online, and then they teach.
So if there's no pressure for a teacher who has to switch like that?
Oh, I'm sure I wouldn't say there's no pressure. I think it is a challenge for all of us to provide quality instruction for our kids, but I have talked to many teachers, and we've talked to our principals, and our teachers are doing a phenomenal job, and they're pretty upbeat about it. It's still teaching the same lesson. They're teaching kids in the room, and then they're talking to their kids in their Google room. And so our kids have embraced it, our staff has embraced it, and I have to take you on a walk. It's amazing to see. I just spent a little time talking to an 8th grade math teacher just the other day to just kind of ask her how she was doing that, and she just couldn't tell me enough about how exciting it was to be able to do Google, and even some of the features that she's learned and developed for online, she's using in person as well.
And I have one other question that has nothing to do we teach kids proper how to type? Or do they just kind of come to us already knowing?
By the time they come to us, they probably already know who is faster than we could ever imagine.
The old days.
That's another thing that's amazing to watch, is how efficiently children type, not the right way. It's not the way we learn, I should say.
My question is, are you guys doing concurrent learning? No. So if a teacher has in-class, they're only focused on in-class for that scheduled time, and then they shift to the next time would be maybe just online.
Yes.
That was thank you.
So that's, I wanted to clarify that. So it's not that a teacher is in the classroom teaching in person at the same time as teaching online.
No,
They're separate within the.
Some districts are doing that, and we discussed that, but we did feel like that would be hard for a teacher to attend to those kids that are out online and have bodies in front of them. So when they're teaching in person, and we've been able to keep our class sizes lower, because some kids are online. And they teach to that group, and there's no,
So they can completely focus on it in person, and then they can completely focus on it online, and that kind of thing.
there are some places, some of our schools are departmentalizing in lower grades too, just to make it work with the numbers, and so there are some places where, not that they're trying to teach concurrently, but a teacher does, even in some of the lower grades, they do teach, both. But they shouldn't be doing it at the same time.
Sure.
But they probably could, because they're so fantastic. Anything else?
Thank you. All right. Construction manager at risk for a few minutes. We have a motion to authorize the use of the construction manager at risk with a guaranteed maximum price method of project delivery for the construction of Desert Meadows preschool. Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. It is recommended the governing board approve the memorandum of agreement between the Levine School District and Rio Salado College for the provision of ESOL, basic literacy, and GED classes. Motion. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. It is recommended the governing board approve the new executive assistant to the superintendent position. Motion. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. It is recommended the governing board grant authority to the superintendent to transition all schools to virtual learning if community health benchmarks provided by the Maricopa County Department of Public Health for the Levine Elementary School District show that cases and percent positivity are both in the substantial category for 2 consecutive weeks. Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. It is recommended, contingent upon the transition for all schools to virtual learning, the governing board grant authority to the superintendent to transition all schools to hybrid learning if community health benchmarks provided by the Maricopa County Department of Public Health for the Levine Elementary School District show that cases and percent positivity are both in the moderate category for 2 consecutive weeks. Do I have a motion? So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any comments from the board? Always.
Congratulations, Vista, for the A+. There you are. Welcome, Dr. Watkins. Isaac, we will desperately miss you, but you have big feet to fill. Big shoes to fill. Big feet, big shoes, whatever. I'm glad the override passed. Congratulations to the Pinnacle Leadership Awards. I need J.D. Williams' direct email and cell number.
Get in line.
Yeah, that's really. Thank you. I think she covered it.
I just want to say thank you again to our veterans, including my friend Isaac here. And we will very much miss you on this board. You've been on here longer or past any of the time any of us have ever been on here, and you're a tribute to the community. I hope that someday you'll join us again on the board.
Thank you.
And welcome, Dr. Watkins. She is correct, you have big shoes to fill, but I hear great things about you, and I have no doubt that she'll be able to achieve that and bring some great things to the board, so welcome. I would just say to Ms. Sandomir and your community, I think you feel the loss of those folks, obviously, greater than any of us in this room can feel, and just know our hearts and our thoughts are with you guys and your staff. Thank you.
First, I'd like to say congratulations, Dr. Watkins. You got a great staff here, and the administration, outstanding. So it's going to be a lot easier than when some people tell you something. Congratulations. Michelle, Susan, tell you, this guy's in a little secret. Back in 2016, Bill called me up, Dr. Johnson. He says, "Guys, you were considering to the board again?" I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So the first person I called was Fern. Fern went out and got all my signatures for me. I didn't campaign, I didn't do anything, and I got elected.
But you only needed, what, 20?
Something like that, yes. You know, if you do work within the community, it's pretty easy because you get name ID and people will respect you, and it's a great thing. This last month, I had the opportunity to go to one of the inner city schools. And I'm so fortunate of all the work that you guys have done, because it makes it so much easier. And the inner city schools are in big disarray, and it's unfortunate. And hopefully we can get them all back on the right track of Proposition 208. So, you know, there's big hopes there. And got one more board meeting to go, so but I want to say thanks all to all you guys. You guys make it really easy. And you're doing an outstanding job. Thank you.
Definitely appreciate all that you've done for being on the board. So, and congratulations, Susan. And it'll be a pleasure to serve with you in our community on the board, Dr. Watkins. So welcome to the team. And then again, just thank you to the community for your just overwhelming support in passing the override. Huge thank you for that. And then I just also wanted to make a comment to all the teachers that we do recognize your incredible work that you are doing. And you know, it was time consuming before you had to deal with online, and so I know it's extra time consuming now, having to manage both sides. And so me and being even education myself, recognize all the time and hard work that goes. And so thank you for putting that time in and making an impact in our families. All right, so regular meeting of the governing board will be held on December 10th, 2020. All meetings will be held at 5:30 p.m. unless otherwise posted in the Levine Education Center located at 5001 West Dobbins, Levine, Arizona. We need a motion to move into executive session.
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
I didn't hear who made the motion.
Me.
Jill.
I'm sorry.
Practicing our vigilance.
Susan.
Susan.
Second was Susan. Okay. We'll move into executive session.
Oh. I make a motion. Good night. Tell the other board members.
Hold on. All right, go for it.
Okay. So we need a motion to adjourn our executive session.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. We need a motion to resume regular meeting.
Motion.
Second. All right, who and who?
Jill and then Susan. All those in favor? Aye.
A motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.